Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
Police have vowed to bring the killer of a mother of two to justice on the 40th anniversary of her sexually motivated murder. Shelley Morgan, 33, was stabbed multiple times in a frenzied attack after dropping her children off at school in Bristol on June 11, 1984. The U.S.-born art college student was heading towards Lee Woods near Ashton Court, where she planned to spend the day sketching and taking photographs. When she failed to pick her children up or return home to Dunkery Road in Bedminster, the police were called and a missing person inquiry was launched. 4 months later, on October 14, children playing in a wooded copse off Long Lane in Backwell Hill discovered her remains. A post-mortem examination concluded Mrs. Morgan, who was married, had suffered multiple stab wounds, and there was evidence the attack had been sexually motivated. Police launched a murder investigation, and the case has been reviewed several times, but the killer has never been found. Detective Inspector Dave Marchant said, "We will never give up trying to identify the person responsible for Shelley's murder and for leaving her 2 young children without their mother. 40 years may have passed, but our resolve has not lessened, and we remain committed to providing her family with answers and, if her killer is still alive, to bringing them to justice." We know, after dropping her children off at school on June 11, 1984, Shelley headed towards Lee Woods, where she planned to take photographs and sketch. While we can't categorically say for certain she made it to Lee Woods, we've unconfirmed sightings of her on a bus traveling towards the area and near Ashton Court. We know Shelley was wearing a scarlet-colored top, a white skirt and maroon-colored tights along with large red circular glasses. And we know she had with her a homemade patchwork bag and her 35mm Olympus OM20 camera. Neither her clothing or her camera have ever been recovered, but we remain hopeful someone may yet come across the camera, as it's still popular with collectors. If you own an Olympus OM20 camera from the 1980s, with the serial number 1032853, please get in touch. Speaking 5 years ago, Mrs. Morgan's sister Holly Bryan said, "Shelley's death had a profound effect on our family, and her loss has been felt ever since. I've come to believe that people aren't really dead until the people who love and remember them have passed also. As long as we carry Shelley in our hearts, she'll always be with us, but we're all getting older and the time is going to come when all those doors are closed. We beseech you, if you know anything about what happened that day back in June of 1984, please come to the police. Maybe you were afraid to speak out at the time. Maybe your situation has changed. Out of love and respect for my sister, we really want to know what happened and be sure the person who killed her will never hurt anybody ever again." Mr. Marchant added, "It may seem difficult to imagine we can still solve this horrendous 40-year-old crime, but with the advancement of forensic science and the passage of time we remain positive. Our public appeals are also effective in generating new lines of inquiry and helping us answer previously unanswered questions. 5 years ago we released images of 2 postcards which depicted the River Avon in Bristol and St. Andrew's Church, from the direction of Backwell Hill. Several members of the public contacted us in response to that appeal, and officers were subsequently able to rule out any significance of the postcards to the investigation. Loyalties and relationships change over time, and there may be someone who didn't feel able to speak to us at the time or even 5 years ago, who may be in a position to do so now. We believe the locations Shelley was visiting that day hold the key to her killer's identity. It's highly likely her killer was familiar with the Lee Woods and Backwell areas and could have had links through work or other associations. It's also more than likely they had access to a vehicle. If you have any information, no matter how small or irrelevant you think it might be, please come forward. You could have the missing piece, which helps complete this case.